I literally dress the exact same way that I dressed when I was 12 years old. Hey guys, my name is Miranda. Welcome to my universe. Today, I'm kind of scared because I'm going to be talking about all of the books on my shelves that I physically own that I have not read. I have counted them multiple times, but I always forget the exact number. It is in the 90s though, and that really scares me because I definitely didn't think I had that many. And I need to stop buying more books because obviously I already have plenty of books to read here in my room. So it just makes me really upset. But perhaps making this video will give me more inspiration and encourage me to actually read these books. As I'm going through all these different books, I am not going to be telling you what the book is about. Instead, I'm going to tell you why I own the book. Is it because it was a gift? Did I find it at a thrift store? That's going to be like most of these books, by the way. Did someone recommend it to me? Did I buy it just because it has a pretty cover? Like, what's going on? I'm first gonna talk about the books on my rainbow shelf just because, I mean, you can see them. All right, so let's start with The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I own this book because I found it at a thrift store. It is pretty and I've heard wonderful things about it. Next, we have Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. This is the second book to the Side series, which I also have, and I also haven't read, so I won't hold that one up later. I got this one because it was a gift. I've heard wonderful things about this. One of my best friends loves this series. The next book is Crimson Bound by Rosamund Hodge. I'm not sure if I said that name right, but this was a thrift store find and I think it is beautiful. Next we have Jane Austen's 7 novels. I do own this because of the cover, but I also own it because I need to encourage myself to actually read Jane Austen. We have The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. I own this because it is literally freaking gorgeous. Moving on to classics, we have Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. I own this because it was literally like $2 or $3. Next, I have this edition of A Tale of Two Cities and Great Expectations by Charles Dickens. Yes, I have it because of the cover. Next, we have The Grapes of Wrath by John Steinbeck. This is one that I know I most likely will never read, but I have it because it is a classic and I got it super cheap and I think it's super cool. Next up, we have The Hobbit. I have this one because I think it's super pretty, but also because I need to read The Lord of the Rings. Then I have The Outsiders by S.E. Hinton, and one of my best friends loves this book. Next, we have The Wizard of Oz and Where the Red Fern Grows. They are not by the same author, but I put them together because I don't think I'm ever going to read these, sad day. All right, so now I'm just gonna be talking about the random books that I have, like in no order. We have My Lady Jane by Cynthia Hand, Brody Ashton, and Jodi Meadows. I have this one because one of my best friends recommended it to me. Next, The Outsider by Stephen King. I actually got this one for Easter. Next up is Water for Elephants by Sarah Gruen. My mom gave this one to me because she read it and she loves it. And then I have Dry by Neil Shusterman and Jared Shusterman. And I have this book because I found it at a thrift store and I have been super interested in reading it. Next, let's talk about my V.E. Schwab books. So I have The Near Witch by her. I got this because it is a Barnes & Noble exclusive edition and I had a gift card. And then I have the box set of her The Darker Shade of Magic series. All right, I have the first and the second book of the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. I got this one at Barnes & Noble and I got this second one at a thrift store because saving money. Yes, please. Next, we have And I Darken by Kiersten White. I actually got this at my last ever book fair in high school. Next, we have We the Drowned by Karsten Jensen. I got this because it is about a voyage and the cover's pretty and it was $3. Next, we have Counted with the Stars by Connellan Cosette. I got this one through the app Thrift Books. Next, we have Saint by Ted Dekker. My uncle owned this book before I did. He ended up giving it to me, and when he gave it to me, he said, and I quote, "Miranda, I love this book, and I only love Christian books if they have blood and gore in it." So here we are. Then I have Stephen King's Carrie. I own this because it is the first book Stephen King ever wrote, so one of these days I will get around to it. Alrighty. Three Dark Crowns by Kildare Blake. My mother gave this to me. Another thrift find, With Malice by Eileen Cook. I really like the cover. Okay, so I never thought I would ever read Game of Thrones, but I literally got these on sale at a thrift store. So each of these books was $1. So why not? Okay, so The Great Gatsby. I had to read it for English 2 years ago, but then we were 3 chapters in as a class and my teacher literally said, you know what? Never mind. We don't have to read this book. Next up is Frank Peretti's Monster. My mom always talks about this book. Every time I would see it at a thrift store, she would bring it up. I don't even think she's read it. Unless maybe she has. Okay, so this one is a humongous box set. It's actually unopened. This one has a really fun story. It's the series of unfortunate events. I found it for a killer price at a thrift store. So I bought it, and what's funny is I actually put it up on various websites to try and sell it, but nobody ended up responding. And when somebody finally responded, literally last week, I realized I actually didn't want to sell this series and I wanted to keep it. So here we are. I will end up reading it eventually, but it just gives me joy. Okay, I have a ton of Stephen King books that I need to talk about. Most of these are from thrift stores because one of my favorite things is to walk into a thrift store, get all the Stephen King books together, and just buy them because I never end up spending more than $10 usually. So we have Doomakey, thrift store, Mr. Mercedes, thrift store, Desperation, thrift store, Cell, thrift store, Skeleton Crew, also thrift store, but I also think that the monkey on the cover is freaking creepy and I love it. Dreamcatcher, thrift store, and then we have The Eyes of the Dragon, which actually is thrift store, but there is a reason I bought this one also. I actually have a tattoo, most of you probably don't know that, but it's on my ankle, and when I went in to get it, my tattoo artist just so happened to be a Stephen King reader. It was right after I finished the book It, and I was just talking to her because when I'm in pain, I like to talk. I don't know. My tattoo artist actually chimed in and he was like, wait, you like Stephen King? Well, have you read The Eyes of the Dragon? And I said I haven't, and he recommended it to me and said that it's not a horror book, but it's really good. All right, I have 2 Cassandra Clare books. We have Chain of Gold, and then we have Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy. This one I actually got from a really good friend, and this one I pre-ordered like months and months in advance before it came out because I was so excited. It's about my favorite characters. All right, so I have The Girl in Red by Christina Henry. I got this as a present from my mom. I also have Shutter Island by Dennis Lehane, and I saw the movie, so here I am with the book that I hopefully will read. Next we have The Friend by Sigrid Nunez. I actually have wanted this book for really long because I saw an article about it. We have The Similars by Rebecca Hanover. This one was on sale for Barnes & Noble and I had a gift card. Next, we got The Immortalists by Chloe Benjamin. This was actually given to me by one of my very good friends. And then we have the Passenger series, both books in the series, and these were both from thrift stores, so the things you can find at thrift stores, I'm just saying. I also have The Darkest Legacy by Alexandra Bracken. This one I bought right after I finished The Darkest Minds, and I never ended up actually getting around to it. Then I have Two Can Keep a Secret by Karen M. McManus. I read one of her other books. Next we have The Beautiful by Renee Ahdieh. I had a gift card. I also think it's really pretty, so you know, all of these books are here for the same reason. I mean, let's be honest. Next we have The Bone Houses by Emily Lloyd Jones. This is like a zombie book, and I was so interested in this. Then we have The Lady Rogue by Jen Bennett, and this one actually was recommended to me by one of my mom's co-workers. I also have Black Rabbit Hall by Eve Chase. I found this at a thrift store and I really like the cover. Next we have Furyborn by Claire Legrand. This is once again one of those Barnes & Noble gift card situations. I also have There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. This cover, can we just talk about this cover? It's so beautiful. Then I have Enchante by Gita Trelease. I originally saw it when I was in Panama. I didn't end up buying it in Panama, but I actually found it at a thrift store like the next week. So I thought it was a sign. Next, we got the first 2 books in the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I have these because I found both of them at a thrift store. I also have This Is Where It Ends. I have no idea how to say this author's name, so I'm not even going to try, but one of my good friends gave this to me. And then I have Anthem by Deborah Wiles, and I actually got this for free because I helped out at an elementary school book fair. All right, and last, but certainly not least, we have a ton of books by Rick Riordan. So I got the first book in The Trials of Apollo, the first book in Magnus Chase, and then I have the first and second book of the Kane Chronicles. Why am I looking out my window trying to figure out what the book's name is? Like, it's right here, Miranda. Kane Chronicles? Kane Chronicles? Yes, it's Kane Chronicles. But those are all of the books that I own that I have yet to read. If any of them stuck out to you, if you've read any of them and you really want me to get to them soon, please comment down below. Let me know what's up. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. Please be safe, make good choices, and I'll see you next time. Bye!